Hey, you're back, and I'm back, and I'm so excited to be with you for video number 2 in our top 3 lies from Bondage to Bliss video series. Today, I'm going to blow the roof off of the second biggest lie that is definitely holding you and your loved ones back from all the beautiful things in life, from letting it be easy, from using your natural gifts and talents to serve the way instead of grinding it out in slavery. Feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing here, what's the point, right? Right? So that's really who this video is for. If you are kind of looking around and going, this world is kind of crazy and I don't seem to fit in here, and I jumped through all the hoops and still I don't feel any better, and I don't know what to do. Right? It's because of your subconscious programming. It's the way that you've been trained by the world. It's these lies that you have been sold, that have been repeated to you over and over and over again. We all know at this point that the beliefs that you hold about yourself and about the world and about God and money are what are shaping your life. There is no objective reality. If you have not watched video number 1 yet, please go back. Do not miss it. Everyone builds on the next. They're only about 15-20 minutes long. You need a pen and a piece of paper, and you need to take this seriously. If you're serious about getting out of bondage, out of slavery, out of a 9-to-5 grind, out of not making enough money, there never being enough time, you feeling like, what is the point? What am I doing here? Or what am I doing wrong? Please go back and watch video 1, then come back and watch video 2, okay? And hopefully you're in a quiet, safe place by yourself. You've shut your phone off. You've given yourself this time and this space. You're putting your hand on your heart. We learned this yesterday. You're releasing serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine into your system, letting your body go into rest and digest. Most of us are functioning all day, every day in fight and flight. Fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight. Like, I'm going to consult that person. I'm going to confront that person. I'm going to run from that problem. Oh, I didn't just think that. Right? You're fighting and flighting with yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions because you don't know what to do with them yet. Who could blame you? And then you're in conflict with the world. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more here today with lie number 2. Okay? So lie number 2 is you're not enough. And along with that is there's not enough time. There's just not enough. But like I said to you yesterday, if you look around in nature, I'm going to spin this around. If you look around at nature, it is bountiful, it is plentiful. There is more than enough food, clothing, and shelter, and water, and teachers out there for everybody. There is no shortages in the world, but certain people have created a system where it seems like there's shortage, and you have been indoctrinated into that system. That's what creates this glass ceiling, this feeling like you're trapped, this heaviness in your chest, because what you have been told is completely inside out and backwards. It does not make sense to your soul. And that's where those uncomfortable feelings come in. All right? Letting go of this lie that you're not enough will save you so much time and so much money, and allow you to experience a good, rich life and to leave a legacy and make a difference on this planet. It clears up things like, this is where, couple things. 1, there's a difference between your conscious and your subconscious mind, okay? So your conscious mind is only 10% of your thinking brain. You are only aware of 2,000 bits of data coming in per second. So your entire body is this beautiful piece of technology that has temperature sensors and arteries and avenues and hormone release, and you are a feeling and a thinking being. You are literally living in a body which is interpreting energy. Sound is a frequency. Sound is energy. Your ears interpret that frequency and play music for you. Smell, touch, taste, feeling, they are all interpretations of energy. Energy vibrates at different frequencies, and this being that you have allowed yourself to receive, this body, is literally taking in data, temperature, and smells, and sights, and sounds, and ideas, and advertisements, and picking up on thought energies and feelings from the collective consciousness, from the people around you, right? And so you have to deal with your whole mind. You can't just run around doing these affirmations which can be helpful to a point, but we have to get into your subconscious mind where you have stored up all of these reasons that you're not enough ever since you were a little girl or a little boy. I mean, this has been going on. Look at it like it, first of all, in the womb, okay? It's something called epigenetic scripting. So look at your parents. Did they really feel good enough? Or were they drinkers or smokers or child abusers or just mentally ill, right? People who don't feel good enough about themselves can't treat other people as though they're worthy, and they can't give you that honor, they can't give you that respect, they can't give you that attention that you were craving. And as you were growing up, you were told things like, be a good girl, don't be a bad girl. Ooh, you're a bad girl, you're going to get punished. Gold stars and grading systems, right? Like you're literally forced in school to compete against one another, and whoever gets a low grade is not good enough. I mean, look at our entire culture, all the advertising, all the media, all the movies. Make yourself be good enough for the guy. You got to compete, and you got to get the man, and you got to compete in business. You are so good enough. You don't have to compete for anything. You were not put on this planet to race or toil or struggle or work or strive or compare yourself to others. Nothing in the natural world. Trees don't look at each other and say, oh, your leaves are really coming in good this season, I guess I'm not. Animals and plants, they work interdependently. They're not in competition with themselves. They're not in competition with each other. They don't struggle and toil to be beautiful or abundant. And you are a part of the natural world. You are a part of nature. You are a part of divine intelligence. And for you to be walking around subconsciously programmed and believing that you're not good enough is honestly a slap in the face to your creator. Quantum physics and math has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Max Planck, when he accepted the Nobel Prize for physics, said, I know one thing for sure. Now this guy spent 40 years studying the nature of our universe. He's a scientist, not religious, not spiritual, hardcore facts, hardcore data. Okay? He said when he accepted the Nobel Prize for physics, said, after 40 years of intensive research into our universe, I know one thing for sure. One thing for sure. There is a conscious mind behind this all. You did not create yourself. You were created. And you were given this mind and you were given this body to create beauty and abundance, to fulfill a mission, to leave a mark, to make a difference, not to be mediocre cookie cutter. What do you do? What do you have? Like, yes, that system exists and you've been indoctrinated into it and you're used to playing that conflict and competition and comparison and bumping yourself on the head and judging yourself and judging others. But we are breaking that chain today. Okay, and I'm going to show you how. So this is literally one of my favorite conversations to have. You believing and investing in and letting these thoughts go in your head about how you're not enough, or there's not enough time, or there's not enough money, or you don't have enough credentials, or you don't have enough support. I know that it looks true for you, but again, it's because of the way that you've been trained. You have a whole database of proof in your subconscious mind that supports the idea that you're not enough. Because again, going back to video 1 yesterday, a belief is just a thought that you keep repeating to yourself, and beliefs color in circumstances and your attitudes and your behaviors, right? And ever since you were a little girl, you were told, better be a good girl. That implies to a child that it's possible that they be bad, that they not be enough. It implies to a child, and you've been trained to believe, that your behaviors determine your value. Okay, I am in agreement that some behaviors are inappropriate or unsafe. But no matter what you've done, no matter what you've gone through, no matter who's done what to you, in the eyes of your creator, you are understood, you are loved, you are wanted, and you are good enough, regardless of your actions or behaviors. Regardless if you agree, your creator created you good. Period, the end. Perfect. Look at a baby. Do you look at a baby and go, I don't know. Are they really good enough? Should we take them home from the hospital? How much money did they make? How pretty are they? How, what color hair do they have? Are they going to look good in high heels? Like, we don't do that to babies. Why are you doing that to yourself? Because you've been trained to. You've literally been miseducated by this world. And this entire world is crazy and backwards and inside out. And you're one of the ones who are about ready to break free. And that's why you're here with me today. And it starts with what's going on in between your two temples, but we have to deal with the subconscious programming. So if you're sitting there right now and you're saying like, well, I tell myself I love myself all the time and I really do think I'm good enough, but you still have circumstances that say there's not enough time, there's not enough money, you're not pretty enough, you're not this enough, then you know. Yes, maybe in your conscious mind you're saying the words, but you haven't yet addressed the wounds that were created when you were trained in the school system that told you that you aren't enough. When your friend said, ha ha ha, why are you wearing those shoes? Or who do you think you are? You could never get that guy. Or I had a client whose mom told her she could never be a veterinarian. And so she grew up and became a housewife and lived her whole entire life for her family. And now her family's gone. And she's like, what the fuck do I do now? And that belief that she's not enough and that she wasted her time and that she made mistakes and that means she can't have what she wants is literally holding her back right now. But we're working on that. Okay. So your self-worth equals your net worth. Okay. When you say I'm not good enough, that means you have low self-worth, right? If you find yourself comparing or competing inside your head with other people, other women, you have a self-worth problem. If you have money issues, you have a self-worth problem, okay? Because somebody who doesn't believe they're good enough won't ask for a raise, won't say no to a job that doesn't pay enough. They'll put up with crap in their relationships instead of setting proper boundaries, right? Your self-love and your self-acceptance is one of the most important investments you will ever make in your life because it literally colors in everything. How you feel and how you think about yourself really, really deep down inside. Can you look back on your life and say confidently, feel confidently in every fiber of your being that every single choice I have made has been necessary? And I am sincerely sorry if I ever hurt anybody. I was evolving. I was doing the best that I could with the information that I had at that time, and it's enough. And even if I would never do it again, I wouldn't change a thing. I did my best. I learned from it. I grew from it. And I'm here now today. I feel innocent. I feel worthy of all good things. I'm not invested in self-sabotage or competition or comparing myself to others. I know that what's mine will come to me. I know that if I keep my connection to truth strong and clear and devoted, I will be totally supported. I could do anything I want to do. Somebody called me up right now and said it's life or death, I need 100 grand. I know that I'm worthy enough, smart enough, capable enough, I would find a solution. If you don't think like that on autopilot, like, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that. One of my coaches call it the blueberry test. When you go to the grocery store and you see this big, beautiful basket of fresh, organic blueberries, do you check the price before you put it in the cart? Are you nickeling and diming, worrying about a couple bucks here or there constantly? Self-worth issues. Self-worth issues. Somebody with high self-worth buys the blueberries and has no concern about not having enough later on. You got to look at your like when you meet a coach and you're like, oh my God, I know I have to work with that person. Do you go, well, can I afford it? Let me check my bank account. Or do you go, I know there's got to be a solution here. I'm worthy of this. There has to be a solution. Give me 24 hours. I'll get back to you. I'm going to find the solution. Or are you going and asking other people for permission? Are you going and looking at your bank account? Who is your God? Right? In here is your God, is your guide, your higher self. And these feelings that get generated when you buy into the idea that you're not good enough, that anger. Think about it. When you think, I'm not good enough, I can't have what I want, there's not enough time, there's not enough money, look at how your eyebrows scrunch up. Look at the stress hormones that are being bled into your system, right? You don't do better when you don't feel good. So why do you keep thinking thoughts and investing in little daydream nightmares that make you feel like shit? It's so much easier to just say yes when you want to say yes and no when you want to say no. But I understand that it's the anger and the guilt and the shame and the fear and the who am I, right? That holds you back and blocks your intuition and doesn't allow you to say yes when you want to say yes. We can't just change your behaviors. You know, you can't just go start buying blueberries and think that everything's going to be better. We have to deal with your belief system. We have to deal with the thought and the emotions that it creates. So look at it like this. When I tell you, you are loved, you are wanted, you are good enough, I don't care what you've done to who, I fucking love you, your creator loves you, and we can, and nature is so good, it can turn every situation around for your good. You feel, your mind might be arguing with me, but you feel a sense of relief. You're like, ah, oh. You go back into rest and digest mode, which is where you need to be of service to yourself or anybody else. Fight or flight, fight or flight. I'm not enough. Every advertisement, every movie you watch has that idea. It's everywhere. And if you are not consistently, moment to moment, every single day, deprogramming the lies and aligning yourself with the truth that you're loved, wanted, and good enough, you are going to be susceptible to the way that your friends think, your children think, your bosses think, your husband thinks, your friends think, the world thinks. And the world is thinking for you, and it ain't fucking working. It's generating stress hormones, putting you in fight or flight, making you snap at your children when you don't want to, making you say yes when you mean no and no when you mean yes, second guessing yourself, shooting yourself in the foot, comparing yourself, looking on Facebook all day, who's doing this, who's doing that. It's literally an addiction to these stress hormones that are released based on the way that you subconsciously have been programmed to think. Now, if any of this sounds complicated, please send me an email, please post in the Facebook group, reach out to me, ask your question, challenge anything that I'm saying, get the support that you need to get this straight, because this is one of the biggest lies. And look at, nobody picks up a gun and kills somebody else when they feel good enough. Okay? All these shootings that are going on, all these children committing suicide, cutting themselves, turning to drugs, alcohol, and sex to feel better about themselves, it's a symptom of a low self-worth. And you have been compared to airbrushed models and people that aren't even fucking real your whole life. And it has infected your mind. And you are now walking around feeling guilty and feeling ashamed and feeling shortchanged and in conflict. The reason that there's so much mess, so much debt, so much lack of time being perceived by you, so much chaos, so much conflict in the world, like all these, every time I turn around it's something else, is because you're in conflict with yourself. Your higher self, your inner self, your creator knows that you are worthy. But because you've been walking around for the last 20, 30 years saying, I'm not, I can't have that, I can't afford that, that's not the way life works, it's hard, I can't have this, she's prettier, she's going to get the guy, I have to compete with her. Because you think that way, you create conflict between you and you. You have a divine, you are divinity. That still small voice within whispers to you all day, every day, telling you that you are loved, you are wanted, you are worthy, you can afford it, you can do anything you want to do. But the human, wild, technology, mind, and emotional body that you honestly, as a child, had no control over what you watched, what you didn't watch, who you hung out with, the stories your mom told you, the information that you got when you were in the womb growing up. Between the ages of 0 and 7, your mind is literally in a deep hypnotic state. You are just in the womb, and between 0 and 7, just absorbing your parents and your teachers and all the authority, all the grown-ups' ideas. They get downloaded. And then you grow up and you get out of the house and now you're just on autopilot. And because you believe you're not good enough, you keep setting yourself up to not feel good enough. And then you build up this whole database of reasons why Christina Louise is crazy. She's telling me I can have it all. She's telling me I can leave a legacy. She's telling me I can make a difference. She's telling me that money's not a problem. But it really looks like it is. It looks like that to you because that's what you believe. That's what you expect. That's what you have been conditioned to perceive. And working with me in this video series, we're going to start you're going to start practicing with these tools and techniques that stop that addiction and literally change how the world looks to you. So what was once chaotic will become peaceful, which was once diseased will become healed. Your bank account will no longer haunt you at night. Your children will calm down, relax, and start working with you when you start working with yourself. Okay? With your real self, your inner self, your divine self. Okay? So remember to keep putting your hand on your heart. Remember today, all day, every day, you should be 100% focused and present on exactly what's in front of you. No more letting your mind spin here, there, and everywhere, worried about the future, worried about the past. If I do this, then that's going to happen, and that's going to happen, and then I'm going to be dead. Like, you know what I'm talking about? You know how your mind is just like, just blocking you off. Like every time you get an inspiration, every time you get an impulse, you're like, yes. And then the mind comes like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have that. This is how you start to stop that. You breathe more often. You watch your breath. You put your hand on your heart. You get into rest and digest mode by following your exhale, meditating for 5 minutes a day. And then you practice what I call the sanity switch. Okay? The sanity switch. If you are not present and 100% in your body, you are literally cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Okay? So we want to get you sane. We want to get you sober. We want to get you conscious. We want to get you fully integrated with your technology so that you can use it to create goodness for yourself and others. Right? Make a difference? Okay. So with the sanity switch, you literally need to turn your head and look around you and remind yourself, where am I right now? You know how like you're up in your head while you're driving, sometimes even while you're talking, you're multitasking? That has to stop. That is monkey brain madness. You might trick yourself into believing that you're making progress or being productive, but you're not. It's scientifically proven that nobody can truly multitask. The people who get it done right the first time and don't have to deal with it again and again and again are totally 100% present and focused. And that's what you need to be, and I'm going to show you how. So you literally pick an object, it doesn't matter which object you pick, and you bring all of your attention to one spot on that one object, and you focus and you breathe without naming the object. So no talking about it in your head. And if you notice that you are, you take a deep breath, you laugh, you pick another object, and you start again. You do that for 5 seconds. You focus. You practice focusing your mind. You practice slowing down. You practice having control over yourself, over your mind, over your tool. You literally move from one object to the next, breathing and seeing how long can I focus on an object without naming it. And you have to turn your head, because there's a scientific reason for that. Everything I give you is based in science. It's very practical. You can do this while you're driving. You can feel the steering wheel. You can tap your thigh. You know when your eyes glaze over and you're like, oh, La La Land, I don't even know how I got home. Yeah, most people are sleepwalking through life like fucking zombies. They're not present. You know what I'm talking about, okay? We've all done it. It ends today. You need to practice the sanity switch 20, 50, 100 times a day. While you're washing dishes, call yourself back into your body. It's just a choice. Focus on the dish in your hand. Feel the dish in your hand. Remind yourself, nothing's happening in the room right now. If you're spinning out, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling stressed, you're not present. Feel the feet on the ground. Feel the seat under your butt. Find something in front of you to focus on for 5 seconds and breathe. Bring yourself back into your body, bring yourself back into the present moment, and keep doing that throughout the day. Where am I right now? Oh yeah, I was in La La Land thinking about this person, thinking about that bill I have to pay, worrying about this, comparing myself. You just have to, you can't stop yourself from doing it, but you can catch yourself and realign. And that's what you need to do over and over and over again. It's like learning a new dance move. you know? You're like, oh, like I know what the steps are. And as you practice them, you watch yourself doing things that you don't want to be doing. Oh, I didn't mean to step there. Yeah, but you can't just beat yourself up. You can't go back into that story that you're not good enough or you don't have enough time to do this. It literally takes 10 seconds to come out of insanity, out of anger, guilt, fear, defensiveness, attack. It is insanity. You're not put here to police the world or wage a war on the world or hold people accountable or compare yourself or struggle or toil. You are a child of the divine creator, and you are put here to receive and to create anything you want. And it starts with getting in here. But first, we have to quiet this down. So make sure that you're meditating for that 5 minutes. You're following the breath on the exhale. You're putting your hand on your heart, and now you're practicing the sanity switch. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. In 2 days from now, I am going to expose the number one lie that is holding you and your family back in bondage. And we're going to knock it out of the park so that you guys can be free to enjoy a happy, harmonious life together, and you can get out there and make a difference in the world, okay? So watch out in your inbox. It's going to come out in about 48 hours, and I will see you soon. Remember that you can always listen back to this recording, take notes, and reach out to me if you need any help with the practices.